So anyways, but stress, yeah, I mean, it's going to have an effect on your on your digestion. You could get constipated or diarrhea depending on what's going on in your system. You can have hormonal inflections, PMS, low libido, nervous system issues. I mean, all of those can be affected when your body is under a stress level. And ultimately, it's going to decrease thyroid function, which is going to decrease essentially every metabolic process in your body.
I think too, like I was talking to Emma about this and I see so many women do it. It's like they're just looking for that one thing or that one food or that's going to fix this issue, when it's the whole approach and looking at it from a higher level, like you're saying, improving your metabolism, and it's the consistency with the food and all these little things done over time that will improve things, rather than, like one special magic food or thing that's just going to fix your constipation or fix your diarrhea.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important to, when you look at foods that are like fermented, because I mean, some fermented foods, in as like you said, as a side dish or whatever, I mean, they taste good. They can be added to food and it tastes nice. And I don't think they're going to greatly affect you. I mean, certainly having some yogurt, because there are some benefits of having yogurt as well, but using it as a main portion of your protein, I wouldn't say do that either. So to have them in these small quantities is probably fine for most people. Certainly if you're severely compromised, having a lot of fermented foods, hard to digest foods, yogurt even, is probably not going to be an ideal energy source for you. So you're always taking that person into consideration. But instead of just saying that food's good for me, then we need to really look is how does it support the energy system? How is it going to help increase metabolic rate and your body's ability to utilize energy better? And if it's not doing that, then we need to rethink why we're eating this food. And I know a lot of people are like, I just want to be told what to eat, right? And then I go on my merry way. And unfortunately, doing that hasn't worked. And we need to be more in tune with what we're trying to do. And if we want to increase the energy state, we want to increase metabolism, we want our body to utilize energy better, then we need to ask these questions about the foods that we're eating and do they help with those things?
And time, you just got to give it time, as we always say.
And it is, and it doesn't happen overnight. And you don't get sick overnight. You don't get all messed up and all these diseases in a day or a year or whatever. You always have things always going on and adapting in your system, and they might show up after 30 or 40 years, but they're certainly not going to go away in 6 months if you're severely sick or have chronic illness or disease. This is all going to help you, and it's going to support your system to get better so they can get back to normal function. But it doesn't happen overnight. I guess it would if you could, like I always tell people, if you could move to an island and have no stress and not look at the TV and, eat fresh fish and
coconuts
and fruit. Yeah. And just live in happiness and no stress. Totally. Then you could probably get there a lot quicker. But unfortunately, you're trying to heal in a stress environment. And so those things might have to be addressed as well, as we've talked about, along this healing process, right? And so, everything, you have to undo the layers. Food is a big component of that because it's what you put in your system for energy. But if your energy system is depleted and under lots of stress, usually even the best diet is only going to help you get so far. You've got to get out of that space, or, at least shift your energy around it or how you perceive it or whatnot, so that you can get into a healing state. It's hard to heal when you're in chronic stress.
Oh, totally. And I think just take ownership of the process, and consistency. Like we hammer this home with all of our clients all the time. It's like, if you can't be consistent, it's never going to change. If you keep drinking every weekend and you keep eating KFC and you keep, putting your body under so much stress and pressure, it's, you can't expect, nothing will change, but it's so much more rewarding if you just put the time and effort into this, versus you could continue to chase that 12-week dream, of fixing everything in 12 weeks, but you just gradually make yourself worse, and you're adding more time onto your healing process, like it's just, I get it though. Like I get it. The fitness industry and the health industry, they sell you all these things, but I mean, how many more times do you need to do it to realize that it's not going to work?
Some people have to have a few lifetimes, I think. I mean, we're all on a different, because we're in the information day and year. I mean, and I think that's why people are more confused now than ever before, because there is so much information available to them, and there's so many different perspectives based on how they're coming from, what they think is healthy. You know, if you're coming from like veganism is healthy, you're coming from an area that says raw food, it has more nutrition, right? It's not in a compromised state, and I'm eating all these highly nutritious foods, and I'm eating an abundance of them, and it's like plants and you know, and so you're coming from that mentality. And so until that, you know, that foundational belief shifts, that maybe that philosophy doesn't work because that belief is inaccurate on some level, you know, you're not going to shift. But like I said, in today's world, you know, I almost think it was better when we had less information, because
I agree.
We didn't worry about as many things. We just kind of did what was available to us. And we didn't have all of this stuff that was constantly creating more stress, right? Sometimes too much information just creates more stress. And that's why, you know, yes, when people kind of come here, it's like, I wish I just want to grab them and say, look, this is the philosophy that would make more sense than any other, based on metabolic healing and an energy state, because you're always trying to support the energy state. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get back into a healing place. And so eating these foods are all going to support the energy state. Now, do they all support you right now? They might not, because you might be in a compromised state, so you can't handle certain things. But if you stick to the process and keep trying things and kind of, you know, taking temp and pulse and paying attention to how you're feeling and being more aware of what you should be looking for, it will always get better. It always does. You know, you're never going to come back. And if you do the work, say, I really feel so much shittier. You know, it just doesn't happen. If you don't do the work, you might feel that way. But if you do the work, that's not going to happen.
And it may seem like a long time, but I think if you just focus day to day, week to week, eventually it all adds up. All those little things add up, and all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I'm noticing all these good things, you know. Like, I think the same thing with lifting, you know, it seems like such a long, slow process. But you know, if you just show up every session and try to get a bit better at the technique and the breathing and the bracing, stability, all of a sudden 9 months later, you're like, oh, my squat's actually looking pretty good, you know, like, instead of thinking so far ahead, like, oh God, it's going to take me 12 months, because you will see improvements along the way. Like, you'll start to sleep better and you'll poo again, and, you know, like, you'll get your energy back and you'll enjoy food. And, you know, there's just nothing like doing a great big poo every day. Like, it really is. It's one of the simple pleasures.
It is, you know, and I guess that just comes back to the fermented foods. The bottom line, you know, if you like them, eat them. Don't eat them to improve your gut health.
And have them as small things, side dishes, condiments, not fucking 10 tons of it every day.
And if you can make your own, it's probably a healthier way to do it, you know. But ultimately, I wouldn't have them as a big, like, foundational part of your diet, or think you need to consume copious amounts of kefir or kabachu or any of those things for better health. I haven't seen it. I mean, if you do that and you are in fantastic health and you think it improves your health, then I think you should leave a comment to Kitty on this on this YouTube. We can talk about it. But I haven't heard it, never seen it. So
go eat some liver. Liver's the best food ever. Make the pate. It's amazing. I just made some new pate on the weekend. I always post photos. I'm like, oh, the perfect pate. I get so excited, you know, my ice cream. It's really fun cooking. I've forgotten how much I like to cook, you know, now that I can actually cook yum food. I'm making like a good version of pad thai today on fucking Easy Food Prep without the nuts and shit, you know, with rice noodles and prawns and chicken. I'm actually really excited about it.
I know. I wish you were my neighbor, because I'd just come over to your house all the time. I'd be like, oh, that looks good.
Hey, Kate, come over for lunch.
I'd be like, Kitty, can you make another portion for Kate?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like, hey. Yeah, that would be nice.
You'd love my pate, I reckon. I've really I've got it down to a fine art now, you know. It's beautiful and pink in the middle, got the butter on the top. It tastes amazing. It's so flavoursome. I'm actually going to go and eat some now after this on my sourdough with another coffee with milk and sugar. Right. Oh, well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure as always. And
as always. Yeah. Getting our off tangents, but, you know, oh well.
All comes back to just eat the bloody food. You know, be consistent. Stop drinking alcohol so much. You know, get some sun.
I mean, those are definitely your foundations with a little, like I said, there's definitely more wiggle room with every single person. But yeah, the foundation of getting better is that correct?
Do the basics. Do the basics consistently over time, you know. Read and learn, I think. Like, it is good to ask questions and understand, but sometimes I think people get like paralysis by analysis, like they're just too much. It's like, just knuckle down, do the basics first, get better, and then start to explore more. Because I think it's like you can just overanalyze sometimes. It's like, take the action, you know, eat the carrot salad, eat the fruits.
Yeah, well, that's what comes with the information. I think age. I mean, you know, and I think certain people, you know, like I said, nothing is super clear cut for them. And even when, you know, a lot of people do the foundational work and they get better, but they still need to constantly be tweaking it. And sometimes that's why it's good you're in programs or people have coaches, because sometimes it's so freaking obvious why they're not improving, but they don't seem to see it, you know, and for them, they're like, you know, I've been doing all this, but, you know, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but I worked like 80 hours this week. Oh, I didn't sleep that one night. Oh, I had to go to my father's house and take his dog out in the middle of the night. Oh, and so woke me up. And I'm like, okay, just read your last paragraph, and that's why it's not working out. I mean, you know, but they're like, oh, yeah, I guess that would have all, you know, but sometimes that's all it takes, you know, it's, you need someone else's eyes.
I think too, like just on the sleep thing, you know, like, cause we've got a lot of mums with kids and some young kids. And I remember one lady posting, she's like, oh, how do I cope with the fatigue? And I sort of dug a bit deeper, and she's like, oh, like her young child still wakes up in the night. And I'm like, look, that's just, you're not going to go and be able to perform in the gym if you're really tired. Like, you know, you need to let your body rest. It's constantly tired and sleep deprived, but that's just the stage that you're in. So support it and be a bit more realistic and be kinder to yourself, because you're not going to be this amazing strength athlete that sits at fucking 20% body fat. I'm like, be kinder to yourself. Like, you've just got to get through this point, eat your food, get sun, you know, and then once your child starts to sleep again, you can probably handle a little bit more training and a bit heavier training. But, you know, you trying to smash yourself now is just not a good idea. And there's no really way that you can, I mean, you can obviously eat the food and do lots of good things for yourself, but at the end of the day, if you're not sleeping, you're going to feel shit. You're going to feel real shit. And what's more important? Is your kid important to you? Like, sometimes there's more important things.
All right.
All right, I'll let you go. All right.
As always, I was like, shit, I gotta go.
Yeah, I know. We jumped on at 7:30.
Yeah, there's a lot of at the end of it, but you know, I think we got the basis of the fermented food thing. You do what you want.
All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. We'll get it down to 2. Oh, and I ordered your books. So when they get to me, I'll let you know, and then I'll send you a thing, and I'll probably do it the same way, so I don't get, because PayPal charge they charge me like 3% when I add on all that shit that I have to pay. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah. No problem. Okay, just post them over, and if we'll nearly have our foundation membership ready soon. So if you join that, you'll be getting 10% off Kate's amazing book. And it's quick. We go through them so quickly. Hey, we've been buying heaps of them off you, which is good because people are educating themselves. It's a really good book. Get the book.
Yeah. Well, there's no distributor in Australia. So you can't get I think you can buy it off some other, but I mean, there's no way. I can't get them to you. So it's Kitty. Kitty's the distributor. Yeah. Entire Australian distributor right now.
Trying hard to get it out. So join the new Foundations website and you'll get 10% off Kate's amazing book. So anyway, I'll let you go and I'll speak to you in a couple of weeks.
You got it.
Bye. Bye.